All right. Welcome back. It is time for our Market Watch with One America's Sarah Pila, who joins me live in studio. Sarah.
Hi, Cassie. Well, United Airlines is going to end their service at JFK Airport in New York in October because of loss. Now, the airline has failed to profit over 7 years because it offered few connections to other cities. It will continue service out of New York's LaGuardia Airport, and it will add flights to its Newark, New Jersey hub. But United wants to win travelers in the highly competitive transcontinental market, and it's something that they lag in with their competitors like American and JetBlue. Now, United has agreed to exchange its flight slots at JFK with Delta in exchange for Delta slots at Newark. Now, United is also expected to reduce its staff as part of the consolidation. Now, here's how United is faring on the market today. United Continental Holdings, they were down more than 2% after the news. You can see now down about a 0.8% there. And now let's go ahead and take a look at trading this hour. We are nearing the end of the day here, but as you can see, stocks are higher. We're hearing that the Dow and S&P 500 got a boost from United Health Group on a report that the company was considering buying Aetna. You could see Dow Jones up about 112, NASDAQ up about 28 points, and the S&P 500 up about 12 points. So that's what's happening this hour. Cassie, I'll be back next hour with a wrap-up of our market coverage today.
Sarah, on United, do you think leaving JFK is maybe going to taint United's image in the airline industry?
You would think so. I think United has done enough to honestly taint their image. There was an incident Friday where United grounded a flight from Chicago to London in Canada for maintenance issues. Well, United staff, they were put up in hotels, but customers, they were bused to military barracks where they claim it was cold. They weren't updated on their flight status. Some passengers claimed they had no blankets, towels, accommodations were sparse. Well, not a good look for the airline. They have since apologized and refunded fares, but certainly as a customer, you don't want to have to be put in that situation. I guess you wouldn't want to sleep in an airport terminal as well, but either way, a PR nightmare for the airline. They're not making any money at Kennedy's, so it doesn't make sense to stay.
Sure, yeah. Well, if you don't give me a blanket, you already lost me there on those long flights. It can be cold.
Yeah, good luck,
airplanes. Right? No, I know. Thank you, Sarah, for that update.
Thank you.
And from the state of United Airlines to our United States U.S. debt, everyone. U.S. debt is expected to become over 100% of the nation's economic output by the year 2040. This is according to the Congressional Budget Office, which says the projection is slightly lower than last year's due to lower interest rates. But the report warns that with such a large debt, investors would begin to doubt the U.S. and our willingness to make payments, leading to much higher interest rates to continue borrowing money. The nation's debt is currently at 74% of GDP, but increases in healthcare and social programs are expected to skyrocket that amount in coming years. And the FDA announces it will give food companies 3 years, only 3, to completely phase out the use of artificial trans fats. Scientists say trans fats, which are used to improve food texture, flavor, and shelf life, offer no actual health benefits. And now that trans fats will be off the list of safe additives, food companies will have to petition the FDA if they still want to use them. The agency, meanwhile, says it will not target the small amounts of trans fat found in meat and dairy products because that does not pose a health risk alone, and that would be particularly difficult to remove. Turning to this, an Israeli-based social networking company unveils what it is calling the world's first ever real-time visual search engine. Mobley's new product, IN, crowdsources thousands of photos and videos related to a topic or event and posts them as a gallery of content. Their formula manages to filter out all the irrelevant images that often come with similar aggregators like hashtags. The company's CEO says only about 10% of the content will come from professional news outlets.
There's an earthquake right now in Nepal. Instead of just seeing 1 or 2 photos, professional ones from Reuters or AP or Getty Images, you can see Nepal from the eyes of the people that live in there and taking those photos right now.
The search engine also analyzes the peak levels of audio in videos to pinpoint the most exciting moments. The company says it doesn't see Google Images or Instagram as direct rivals, claiming its product serves a different function. Well, not great news today for European car sales, which are taking a bit of a hit after months of growth. The dip as well as a state of the European economy, has experts suggesting manufacturers will now have to explore their options to attract more customers. How they're going to do that. Haley Platt has more on the auto industry over in Europe.
New car sales moved down a gear in May. Registrations grew between January and April 1.4% year on year to 1.50 million, according to the Association of European Car Makers. That was well short of the market's hoped for 8.1%. But Brenda Kelly of London Capital Group isn't too concerned.
I think 1 month's data could be put down to seasonal and, of course, the amount of bank holidays that we had within the particular month. So I wouldn't necessarily use 1 month's data as a reflection on the Eurozone economy as a whole.
Nissan led the way with an almost 14% rise in sales, largely thanks to the popular Qashqai SUV, while French rival PSA Peugeot Citroën suffered a 5.2% slump, punished by an ageing Citroën lineup. And it could finally be time to invest in electric vehicles. Improvements in battery technology and pressure on governments to meet emission targets may make them a more attractive option.
Given the fact that we have seen a huge amount of moves towards the climate control within the G7, and of course with the meeting later on this month, which is intended to bring other people into the same sort of area in terms of bringing down carbon by 40 to 70% by 2019, I think it's definitely worth looking at.
Angela Merkel has voiced her support for electric vehicles, vowing to bring 1 million of them to Germany's roads by the end of the decade. Other European countries, such as Norway and the Netherlands, are doing their bit by creating incentives to try and encourage sales.
Coming up next, the Chicago Blackhawks achieve the dream, lifting the Stanley Cup as this year's NHL champions. And with that title, the squad gets to join some elite company. The sports story is next.